The Tobald Award Selection Committee is coming right here to New York?
Yes, some of them have already arrived.
To win the Tobald Award is the dream of every scientist.
Yes. And you know, I've got a hunch that for the first time in 75 years, we're finally going to have an American winner.
What an honor to be selected.
And what a story. Here are some pictures of the first recipients of the award. And here are stories of the award ceremonies. Study those. And here, this is Ketya here. This is Reichman. These are the first two members of the committee to arrive in New York. They're staying at the Blackwell. Now, this is Dr. Carl Benson. He's the chairman of the selection committee. Now, we're going to split up our forces. Howard, you and Lazario take Smith and cover Professor Kaplan. And Parker, you're going to meet Charlie at the Institute for Genetics Research. Dr. Moon has his lab there. And any questions? No? All right, then let's get going. Well, Parker, what are you waiting for? Personal invitation?
No, I was just wondering, isn't there supposed to be some kind of animosity between Dr. Moon and the Tobald Committee?
Well, I don't know. Why should there be?
Well, they've passed him over year after year for 5 years now, and he's certainly well qualified.
Maybe you and Charlie can get an answer to that when you see him at his press conference.
Press conference?
Yeah. He's going to show some of his experiments.
Well, does that mean he's discovered something new?
Yes. I think he's discovered the power of the press.
Do you know what he was into? Cloning.
What's cloning?
It's a new dance that Parker's going to teach me. What did you want?
To remind you that you're due downstairs in 5 minutes for the layout meeting.
Layouts, of course. Yes, excuse me. Don't be late, Parker.
Oh, don't worry, Mr. Jameson. I'll be there.
Pete, what is cloning?
Well, it's a process in which body cells reproduce by division. It's a form of asexual reproduction.
Oh, what?
You know how we have two parents and get some of our personality from each one?
Yeah.
Cloning would produce offspring from just one parent, so there'd be only one personality.
You mean I could have a baby all by myself and it would be me?
Theoretically, yes.
I don't think that's such a good idea.
You know something, Rita? Neither do I.
Barbarians.
Dr. Ketya, Dr. Reichman, please, Can't the distinguished members of the Tow Vault Committee do anything but quarrel?
How can one quarrel with a man that has the taste buds of a...
Now. Unless you want to stay up here and starve, I suggest... Oh, my list. I promised the manager I would bring him a list of the full committee. I must have left it in my room. Please excuse me. You go ahead. I'll meet you in the dining room.
Oh, no. We will wait.
No. You go ahead. I'll see you in a minute.
Fish eggs.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Please bear with me. You won't be sorry. If my experiment goes well, you'll have a story that'll push everything else off the front page. Bear with me a moment while I make a few minor adjustments. I'd like you to meet my partner in this endeavor.
What? Your partner?
A member of the Order Salientia.
Family Ranidae.
That's correct, young man.
It's Parker. Peter Parker.
Weren't you in one of my classes at the university?
Yes, sir. Zoology 422.
Now I remember.
What is this, a family reunion here?
Now, this is a blood cell my partner kindly donated a few hours ago. I prepared the cell by bombarding it with radiation. In a moment, I shall place this cell in the incubator you see here, and within a very few hours, this single cell will grow into an exact duplicate of its donor.
You're talking about cloning.
I said what you're about to see will make traditional cloning obsolete. This cell will reproduce without a substitute mother, as you call it. The only mother the frog I'm about to create will ever know is this incubator. Questions?
Dr. Moon, the Toval Award Committee is arriving from Europe in a couple of days to decide whether an American scientist should be awarded a prize this year.
Correct.
Now, for the past 5 years, they have ignored you, haven't they?
To be honest, I would welcome a visit by the award committee. And should they pay me such a visit, I may have a few surprises for them that would make this experiment in frog cloning look like child's play.
Dispatch, this is Patrolman Riley at the Hotel Blackwell. Captain Barbera's on the scene. He's requesting a team from the lab and an elevator inspector.
Got it. Tell the captain they're on their way. Riley, is it a bad one?
Yeah, real bad.
File a report and let me know.
Dr. Ketja and Dr. Reichman were the first members of the Tow Vault Committee to arrive. I was just taking them. They are lucky to have survived.
Very lucky. What's your function on the committee, Miss Benson?
My grandfather is chairman. He sent me on ahead to make the necessary arrangements.
Captain.
Excuse me.
Well,
So that's it? The cable just broke?
A 1 in a million accident. We just inspected this elevator 3 days ago.
Hey! No pictures. Parker, what are you doing here?
Well, Captain, I picked up the message on the police channel. And there's something about that
I
cable.
said no pictures. I'll call a press conference when I'm ready. Here, go play someplace.
You know what you can get Mr. Jameson for his birthday? A big silver platter. Because he wants to put your head on it.
What did I do?
Parker!
What's going on?
Why should I tell you and spoil all his fun?
Hello, Mr. Jameson.
Not one picture here. Not one lousy picture.
Sir, there are 3 rolls of pictures here of the cloning experiment.
Frogs? Frogs are page 2 news, Parker. Elevator crashes are page 1. Now, where are your pictures of the elevator crash?
Oh, well, Captain Barbera exposed all my film.
Parker, you listen to me, and you listen good. Now, if you insist on sticking your nose in where you haven't been assigned, and that's what you did when you went to that hotel, then I expect pictures from you, and I don't care how you get them. Barbera, no Barbera, you understand?
Sir, how am I supposed to...
Don't ask me how, that's your job.
I did my job when I got the pictures of the cloning experiment.
Frogs! When you've seen one frog, you've seen them all. Action, violence, elevator crashes. That's what sells newspapers. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
I hope so. Now, the Science Foundation's throwing a costume ball to raise money for their scholarship fund. The guests of honor are going to be members of the Torvald Committee. But don't you bring me any pictures of old men with beards. Beautiful people. Romance. Glamour. That's what sells newspapers.
But I thought you just said that violence and action sells newspapers.
I hope you're being funny.
Do I have to wear a costume, too?
Do you have to? Yes, Parker, you do.
Okay. I'll have Rita fill out a voucher so I can rent one.
I think you're joking. What you wear on an assignment is your expense, not the newspapers.
Rent a costume on my salary?
Well, then borrow one from one of your classmates. Lord knows they look like they're wearing costumes all the time.
But, Mr. Jameson, you don't understand.
Parker, any more arguments out of you, and I'll have your...
Yes, I know, sir. On a silver platter.
And this is one of his better days.
You did this.
We both did it.
You wanted them to die, didn't you? No, never. Admitted you hated them. Not enough to try to kill them. But I was created out of you, from one of your cells. I am you. No, something went wrong. But I have your mind. My thoughts must be your thoughts. Only part of my personality came through. We're like Jekyll and Hyde. But through me, you'll be free to do the things that you've always wanted to do instead of shoving them down, denying them the way you do. You want revenge. You want 7 men on that committee to die for rejecting you and humiliating you. I may have thought about it in a moment of bitterness, but I was wrong in what I've tried to do. And I'm going to make sure that you don't leave this room. You can't lie to me because you can't lie to yourself. You want them dead. Thanks to me, you're going to get your wish.
How much? Well, sir, I just want to rent a costume. I don't want to buy a custom-made suit. Yes, I know all about the ball tomorrow night. So does every other place in town. But you see, my job depends on me being able to get... Yeah, you're right. That is my problem. Yeah. Thank you. Every costume house in town is completely sold out.
Oh. You know, it's too bad you don't have some nice girl who could sew up one for you. But what do girls nowadays know about sewing? Child, my mama made sure
That's it, Rita. Why didn't I think of that before?
You have a girl?
You might call it that, yeah. Thanks, Rita. Aunt May, I'm sorry to put you to so much trouble.
Trouble? It won't be any trouble. I love it. Do you remember, Peter? I used to make all your costumes for Halloween. Ghosts, goblins. Oh, you know, I think maybe your old skeleton costume is still in the attic.
I love you, but really, I was thinking of something maybe a little more grown up.
Well, what kind of a costume would you like me to make?
Doesn't matter, just whatever's easiest.
Tarzan? No, you'd catch your death of cold. Now, Frankenstein. Oh, no. You never could stand the sight of blood. Here, you wait right there. I'll go get my tape measure.
Dr. Carl Benson, chairman of the Tovald Award Selection Committee, expressed his deepest regrets to the families of the injured scientists. Dr. Carl Benson. Carl Benson is staying at this hotel?
Yes, but he's out at the moment. But if you'd like to talk to Miss Benson...
No, I wouldn't want to bother Miss Benson. Not at the moment. Thank you.
Dr. Moon?
Mr.
It's still Parker, Peter Parker.
Of course, Mr. Parker.
Doctor, I thought your experiment last night was absolutely brilliant.
Yes, you were one of the reporters.
Well, one of the photographers, to be exact.
If you'll excuse me, I have an appointment.
Dr. Moon, good luck with the selection committee.
Thank you, Mr. Parker.
Front desk.
Yeah, my name is Peter Parker. I have an appointment with a Miss Lisa Benson. What is her room number, please?
That's 812.
Thank you.
Dr. Moon? Yes, I know him. You say he was in the lobby and he didn't come up to see me?
Is he a friend of yours?
Oh, much more. When I was a little girl, he and my father used to work together at the Institute in Stockholm. Such a good, kind man. He was very close to my family. It's just a shame that his work... You said you weren't here as a reporter, Mr. Parker.
No, I'm investigating the elevator accident.
I don't understand.
Well, I'm working with a private investigator, and what puzzles us about this accident is why these two particular men?
It must be political. Both men had many enemies in their own countries.
Then why wait until they come to America?
It doesn't make much sense, does it?
No. Miss Benson, I know this may sound a little bizarre, but just suppose that somebody was out to get the whole committee, and this accident was just the first step.
That's a terrible thing for you to say.
The committee was the only possible connection between these two men.
Both these men have been on the committee for 5 years. This is longer than anyone except my grandfather. Now, if being on the committee would lead to this, then... No, you cannot be right. One moment, please. Would you excuse me, please?
I'll only take up another moment of your time.
Goodbye, Mr. Parker.
Goodbye, miss.
Hello? Dr. Moon? Well, someone told me you were in the lobby. Why didn't you come up?
I'll explain why when you meet me, but you must come immediately. And without your security guard.
Why? I'm not allowed to go anywhere without him.
This is very important, especially to your grandfather's safety. Now, do anything you can. Send the guard on an errand. Go down the service elevator. But meet me at this address.
Taxi? It is so good to see you. You look tired. What is it? What's wrong?
Whatever was wrong before is going to work out beautifully now that you're here.
He's already tried to kill me. Isn't that proof enough for you?
I don't know what to think.
You know, if this is how Dr. Moon shows how much he loves you, just be glad he's not your enemy.
There must be some explanation.
Oh, there is. He's trying to kill us.
Ow!
What happened to your hand?
Don't worry about my hand. Just worry about how much oxygen is in this place.
It must be nearly morning. Surely if this is a bank, then people...
It was a bank, Miss Benson. You see, all the buildings on this street are empty. They're going to be torn down soon. But I don't think we can wait for the wrecking crew. Stand back, please. Let's get out of here.
Thank you.
Let's get you to police headquarters.
What?
You're going to tell Captain Barbera what your friend Dr. Moon tried to do to us.
No, I have nothing to say to the police.
Do you think he was playing games with us in that vault?
I have nothing to say to you or to the police. I don't even know who you are. Why should I trust you? Please just leave me alone.
Part of your story checks out. What happened to your hand?
Oh, I just scratched it in my lab. What were you saying about my story?
The lock on the vault in the old security building looks like it was put in a can opener. But Miss Benson denies ever having been in that building.
Well, sure, to protect Dr. Moon.
Nobody's going to protect a man who tries to kill her.
Oh, yeah, she would. You see, Dr. Moon tried to kill those two scientists because they have denied him the Tovald Prize year after year. But they're not the only two men on the committee. Now, he's not going to stop, Captain, until he has gotten to every single man.
Parker, where were you when those two guys almost bought it in the elevator?
I was at the cloning experiment.
And where was Dr. Moon?
He was conducting the experiment.
Case closed.
No, Captain, I am sure about this. You see, Spider-Man...
Spider-Man? Is that where you get this dingy idea, Spider-Man? Parker, when you hurt your hand, I think it affected your brain.
Go on, sleep. I don't need you. I have your mind, your knowledge. I'm going to make sure that nobody stops us now. Not even Spider-Man.
Mr. Parker? This is, my grandfather.
Hello, Dr. Benson.
Please sit down.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Mr. Parker, Lisa tells me that you speak for this person called the Spider-Man.
I have had contact with him, yes, sir.
And he believes that Dr. Moon is going to try to kill me?
Dr. Benson, I wish you could convince your granddaughter to tell the police what happened to her last night.
And how do you know what happened to me last night?
I told you on the telephone, Spider-Man...
Was the one trying to hurt me.
No, you're wrong. You see, it was Dr. Moon.
No, Mr. Parker. I'm a scientist. My life is built on logic, and there is no logic in your accusations.
I'm a scientist too, Dr. Benson. So can you tell me why your committee has denied him an award year after year?
How does that concern you?
I think the reason you passed him by might explain how he was able to be in two places at once on the night of the elevator crash.
Really? Now, this is ridiculous.
You were afraid of his experiments and where they were heading, and you didn't want to encourage him. Isn't that right, Doctor? You knew he wasn't going to stop at cloning a frog now, didn't you? He wanted to clone a man, didn't he, Dr. Benson?
I can't speak for Dr. Moon. If you want an answer to that question, you must ask him.
You know something? That's not such a bad idea. I was beginning to think you weren't here.
What is it? I'm very busy.
I wanted to talk to you when we met at the hotel.
Talk about what?
To discuss what a man like you goes through while he's sweating out the time to see if he's been chosen for the Tovald Prize.
You seem convinced it's going to happen this year.
After what I've heard and seen, I'd say you were a sure thing.
Such confidence. If I were so young and naive, I'd perhaps be able to enjoy these next few days.
Well, after they see what you've accomplished...
Based on past experience, I'll just be patient. If you excuse me, I'm busy with an experiment.
Oh? Here?
No, in my private laboratory.
Oh, well, this will only take a minute. Doctor, after seeing you clone that frog, I was wondering, do you think it'll ever be possible to clone a man?
I haven't time to waste on fantasy, Mr. Parker.
Is it fantasy? Dr. Moon, I have some theories that I would love to bat around with you. Now, maybe if I could stay and watch while you conduct your experiment...
I'm sorry, not tonight.
When?
When I'm less busy.
Don't forget now. I'll come back anytime.
Good night, Mr. Parker.
Good night.
See who Spider-Man really is. Peter Parker. Mr. Parker goes to the head of the list. It's amazing. You have the same personality traits I do.
Don't you think Parker has a dark side, too? You know, I know Peter is no fashion plate. But these clothes are ridiculous.
They'll do until you get into a real costume. Does he keep them in his apartment?
Now, where else would we keep them?
Parker will be going to work soon. When he does, we've got to figure out a way to get into that apartment.
That's no problem. The janitor has a spare key. wonder if there's anything about Mr. Peter Parker that I don't know.
While we're waiting, let's figure out exactly how we're going to use you.
Yeah, can we figure this out over breakfast? Well, that's what Parker would say. The guy's always hungry, isn't he? What about him?
He's got enough sedation to keep him till we need him. All right, Mr. Peter Parker, Spider-Man. Your first breakfast.
Anybody would want to live in a place like this.
Well, let's get what we came for and clear out.
You know, it is really weird to know everything about an apartment you've never been in. I'm going to need this. And this. There isn't any utility belt.
Maybe he doesn't have a spare. But don't worry, I think I know where you can get one. Tobald Committee Costume Ball. That's it, the costume ball. As you'd say, a piece of cake.
You look just like Errol Flynn. Very dashing.
You made these?
Oh, no, I found it in the attic. Your Uncle Max bought it for a Halloween party. I just cleaned it up a bit.
Boots and all.
Don't you like it?
Oh, yeah, I like it. I love it, Aunt May. It's just perfect. What would I do without you?
Well, are you going to try it on?
Well, no, not right now. I've got to go.
But it'll just take a minute. I want to see if it fits.
Oh, I'm sure it fits. You know my size. How long have you been making my clothes?
Since you were that big. I remember how...
Oh, really, Aunt May, I have got to go. Mr. Jameson will just kill me if I don't get pictures of the guests arriving.
Oh, wait a minute, Peter.
Well, what is it now, Aunt May?
I forgot part of your costume. Here it is.
It's perfect. It's just perfect. Thank you. That is not bad. Oh, no. Oh, Aunt May, how could you have done this to me? This never happened to Errol Flynn. I need a costume. I've got the perfect costume.
know who you really are. Hey, relax, Pete. It's your reflex, whatchamacallit. It's a dead giveaway.
It's a beautiful costume, Rita.
Oh, you know, that would have sounded so much better if you'd have just said, you look beautiful, Rita. But I guess I'll just have to settle for what I can get. Hey, you better get on in there and get to work. Mr. Jameson has this thing about employees earning their keep.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Miss Benson?
Until I came to America this time, I didn't know what a Spider-Man was. And now I see 3.
Yes, but only one of us can tell you what the inside of a bank vault looks like. Oh, and my hand is much better.
It is you.
I hope so. Security men all over the place. Any sign of Dr. Moon?
Mister, I don't even know what to call you, but you're still wrong about Dr. Moon.
I have a feeling we'll find that out tonight. That's right, Peter. I'm you, and you're me, and this is a gun. Now, don't try any tricks, because I'm thinking with your mind, and I'm one step ahead of you all the way. So let's go outside and get a little air. Put your mask on. Move.
So, what's it going to be? Spider-Man tries one of his daring feat, fails, taking a fatal dive from the roof of the Hotel Blackwell?
We do think alike.
Well, almost.
Two down. Parker and Spider-Man, right?
Wrong.
Help me. Please, help me. Get Dr. Moon. Get him. This can't be happening.
What is it?
The acceleration process. I'm dying. As quickly as I was born. He can't help me know what can happen.
I'll tell him his plan for revenge didn't work.
No, it wasn't his plan. He had nothing to do with it. Make the committee understand. He's
stand by. 12X61, 2 calls. To the man, 415, 9417 Bandera.
Okay, Spidey, old pal. We find an old man up on the roof dead.
We find Dr. Moon zonked out in his lab. Then we get a call from you telling us you'll tell us everything once we get down here. Start talking.
Get your hands off me, Barbera.
Captain Barbera to you, Spidey.
Mr. Jameson, I'll have your head on a silver platter.
Hold it.
Put that camera down, Parker.
But, Mr. Jameson, you said this is what sells newspapers. Action, violence.
Smile, Mr. Jameson.
Now, hold it, Mr. Jameson, just like that. One more.